The Eagles roll, and it's time for a rematch. Hello, everybody. Terry Bennett here on the Brock Eagle Football Show, right here on S2S Sports. As the Eagles advance over Benbrook in a dominating 56-13 game against a really solid Benbrook team. This isn't your dad's Benbrook team. This is a really good team. Big offensive front, really good running back. And Brock jumped out on them early and often. At 21-point first quarter really set the theme of the night for the Eagles as they roll. And now it's a 3-4A Division II rematch for the region against the dreaded Graham Steers. Of course, in the last or second to the last game of the season, Graham beat Brock 38-0. How will Brock respond? Well, we'll ask Coach Mathis that. We want to thank our sponsors, including Tommy Hayes. You can find him online at TommyHayesPhotography.com or on Instagram, Tommy_Hayes_photography on Instagram. Of course, you see all of his great work in the Brock program, and he has some of the best action shots there is in sports in Texas. And we also want to thank Lazy S Hacienda. You can find them online at LazySHacienda.com, where the wild meets the modern. This place is absolutely beautiful, absolutely gorgeous. If you were there for the Brock football event before the season starts, you know that. By the way, they're going to have holidays at the Hacienda Sunday, December 15th, 4 p.m. to 7:30. All you got to do is go to their website, LazySHacienda.com. Right on their main screen, you'll see a little bow, and it has the information inside. Click that for tickets and go out there and check this place out. It is the perfect place for destination weddings, elopements, Super Bowl parties, business lunches, whatever your needs are, Lazy S Hacienda will take care of that. And we do appreciate them being a sponsor here on the Brock Football Show. All right, we're going to take a break. When we come back, we're going to get right to it with the head coach of the Brock Eagles, Coach Billy Mathis, right here on the Brock Eagle Football Show. Do you have a kid that plays sports? Are you yourself a weekend warrior? Then I'm going to tell you something. Check out NeuroGuardPlus.com. That's NEURO GuardPlus.com. It's a mouthpiece that can not only help with concussions, but can dramatically affect the way you perform. And the mission of NeuroGuard is to, of course, reduce the risk of suffering a concussion when participating in any contact sport, military, anything that you're doing physical that you could take a blow to the head. You might want to put in a NeuroGuard mouth guard. And as I said, it not only helps eliminate concussions, it helps you perform better by simply aligning your jaw properly. And that sounds like such a simple thing, but it is so important because it allows oxygen to get to your brain. And when you get oxygen to the brain, you don't have that fog of sports or that fog of war where you get confused. And if you've ever played football, you know that's a sport where that can happen. Especially, man, you're in there in the trenches and you take a shot to the side and all of a sudden things are spinning. This mouth guard will help you keep focus by, again, simply keeping oxygen going to your brain 100%. Again, check them out, NeuroGuardPlus.com. And if you play sports, if you have a kid that plays sport, if you do something physical, one of the things that Dr. Hutchinson, the creator of this, was talking about was some people will use it when they're doing yard work and when they're mowing and things like that, where they're being physically active because they know it helps align their jaw and it keeps oxygen going to the brain, which also helps your lungs, by the way, when you can have full breath every time as you're performing. So again, check them out, NeuroGuardPlus.com.
Hi, I'm Josh Bell with the Miami Marlins. I wear NeuroGuard to help with strength and coordination when I'm in the weight room and help with balance when I'm on the baseball.
The Brock Football Show, now joined by the head coach of the Eagles, Coach Billy Mathis. And Coach, big win last week against Benbrook. You jumped out early on them. You never let them get off the mat. What were your thoughts on the game?
Man, it was a great game. You know, it was my first time as a coach to play Thanksgiving evening. We've always played, you know, an earlier game, whether it was a 1, 2, or 3 o'clock start. So, you know, sitting around all day on that Friday, boy, that was torture. But I was excited the way we played. I was excited the way we came out. And, man, we've been coming out these past couple games and playing fast and playing strong. So it was good. And, you know, Coach Slater, he did a great job with those guys, man. They were a good football team, and, man, there's, you know, nothing to hang their head about. And they, you know, taking that, you know, one of the Fort Worth ISD schools, it doesn't happen very often. It just shows how good of a coach he is and his staff is and what kind of players they got over there. And the buy-in that they have. So, to jump out there and get on them and win the way we did, I was very excited about it.
I could ask you 3 or 4 more questions about that game, but come on, let's just go ahead and move on to it. It's the rematch. It's Graham, District Brethren. We all know what happened 5 weeks ago. I kind of feel like you're feeling pretty good about this week, though.
Man, I am. I feel good about it. We walked off that field out there in Graham, and man, there was no doubt about it. They outcoached us. They outplayed us. They had everything going for them, man. And man, it was one of those games that, for us as a team and as a coaching staff, man, it checked us. We were 8-0, I think, at the time, and man, feeling good about ourselves. And all of a sudden, you go out there and you get rocked like that, and you're like, all right, boys, we're not invincible. We're not doing everything we need to do to go win a big game, to go win this, the district championship. They were more fired up. They were ready. They came out and played their tails off more than we did. So since that game, man, our whole mindset of take day by day, we've done a lot better job of day by day working on the Brock Eagles. Hey, we're going to block better. We're going to run the ball better. We're going to tackle better. It's all those little things that, when you're winning, you're 8-0 and stuff. Sometimes, and you shouldn't do it, but sometimes, man, you let those little things go. Like, we'll be all right. We'll be all right. Well, we weren't all right, and it showed in our game. So, it was good for us, and it put us on the path that we were meant to be on. And man, we've had a great run since then. And I'm just excited to go out and be one of 8 teams still playing and have a chance to go out here and play another game against Graham.
Well, and you and I were talking before we were recording, and you said a friend sent you a message that I think, as you said, fits perfect. You can't look at this about revenge of beating Graham and getting that win back. This is about moving on to the state semifinal. That's way more important.
That's right. This isn't about some, people want to make it about a revenge game and do all that. It's not. That was 6 weeks ago. It's 0-0 starting Friday night at 7:00, and we've got to go out and focus on, preparing ourselves for victory. And that's it. We got to go out there and focus on, stopping their quarterback, stopping their offense, and being able to move the ball under the defense. And, when it comes down to it, football is a pretty basic deal. You got to tackle well, you got to block well, not have turnovers. And, that's what we're looking at. This week, we hadn't brought up, anything else about, this is the next opponent, right? The Graham Steers, they're the next opponent. We hadn't talked about what, that they beat us last time or any of that. We know that. We've learned from that. We moved on from that. This is the 4th round playoff game. This is about senior seasons ending, right? Mm-hmm. There's nothing promised after this. And, that's a big deal in our guys. They don't want to be the group of seniors that are standing there at the end of the game knowing that was their last high school football game. These guys want more, and we got to go out, and we've prepared well this week. We got to go take care of business Friday night. We got to go out there and do the basic things. Play hard-nosed football. Right? Don't worry about all the pregame antics and all that type of stuff. Just go out there and play hard-nosed Brock Eagle football.
As a coach and as a coaching staff, how do you balance making the adjustments from, the last game, but also staying true to what you do and just doing it better?
That's one of those deals, on the weekends you go in there and all of a sudden you've got a million ideas and a million things that you're like, hey, we can do this, this, and this, and this. And it's like, we got 3 days to get this wrapped up and done, right? So we just, and that's what we've done. We just got to keep building on what we're doing well, right? I think our offense is playing better than they've played all year. Our defense is playing faster and more violent than they've played all year. Special teams have been amazing. So, you don't want to go in there and do too much. You don't want to out-coach yourself. You don't want to go in there and give your kids any sorts of doubt on what they're supposed to do. So we just go in there and we stuck to our game plan. We've got wrinkles. They're going to have wrinkles from the game that they played before, but you're both going to go do what you do that got you to this point. But we just got to go do it better, right? And it's been that focus on, stepping with the correct foot, tackling with your shoulder pads, not going out and reaching and grabbing. You know, it's those little things, fundamental stuff that we got to do better to go win this game.
Here at L4 Media, we talk high school football, 4A, 3A, and 2A in Texas. We talk East Texas sports. We talk NFL, guy talk, movie and booze. We also talk wrestling and so much more. And you can see it all on our YouTube channel at L4 Media Company. Like and subscribe. As always, we want to thank the head coach of the Eagles, Coach Billy Mathis, for joining us. The rematch. You knew no matter what really happened in that first game, you know, there was going to be a really good chance that you were going to see these two teams in this round. You know, I know Glen Rose had a say, and they gave Graham a great game. I mean, they scored the most points on Graham that anybody scored since Graham lost to Springtown in week 2 of the season. And, you know, so you knew that they were an obstacle, but you still kind of felt it was going to be Graham and Brock. And here we are, Graham and Brock Friday night in Tarleton. This is for all the marbles now, at least for the region. I like the idea of let's not get caught up into this is a revenge game for what happened 4 weeks ago or 5 weeks ago. You know, the more important thing is you've got the state semifinal right there. And you also got to remember, man, for Brock to move up from 3A Division I into 4A Division II in a pretty salty region and to be playing for the region championship, that's impressive right there. Going to be a fun one. If you have any questions, thoughts, or comments, email the show, Terry at S2Ssport.com. If you're going to the game, be safe. And we'll be hopefully talking next week. Now, if Brock does lose, we will talk to Coach Mathis probably the week after state to kind of do a recap of the season. But let's just plan on being here next week and let's talk state semifinal. And we'll do all that right here on the Brock Eagle Football Show on L4 Media.